January 9th, 2007. A man walks onto a stage in San Francisco. He holds up a small black rectangle. He says, "Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone." In that moment, he changed history. He put the internet in our pockets. He killed the keyboard. He became a god of technology. The world saw a genius in a black turtleneck. But fast forward just 4 years. October 2011. That same genius is lying in a bed in Palo Alto. He weighs only 100 pounds. His bones are sticking out. He can't talk. He can barely breathe. The man who controlled everything, every pixel, every button, every color, could not control the cancer eating his pancreas. He had billions of dollars, but he couldn't buy one more day of life. But to understand his death, we must go back to his birth. Steve Jobs wasn't just a CEO. He was an unwanted child. Adopted, abandoned, rejected. He spent his whole life trying to prove that his biological parents made a mistake by giving him away. This is the story of a hippie who became a tycoon, a man who was fired from his own company, only to return as a king. This is the defining moment of Steve Jobs. 1955. San Francisco. A young Syrian immigrant named Abdul Fattah Jandali and his American girlfriend had a baby boy out of wedlock. Her father forbade her to marry a Syrian, so they had to give the baby away. They had one condition: the adoptive parents must be college graduates. But fate played a trick. The baby was given to Paul and Clara Jobs. Paul was a mechanic who barely finished high school. Clara didn't finish college. When the biological mother found out, she refused to sign the adoption papers for months. She finally agreed only when Paul and Clara promised, "We will save every penny to send him to college." Steve grew up knowing he was adopted. One day, a neighbor girl asked him, "Does that mean your real parents didn't want you?" Steve ran home, crying. His father, Paul, looked him in the eye and said, "No, we specifically chose you." Those words shaped his life. He felt special, but deep down, the scar of abandonment never healed. It made him a control freak. He wanted to control his environment so he would never be abandoned again. Steve kept his parents' promise. He went to Reed College, but after 6 months, he dropped out. He said, "I am wasting my parents' life savings." He became a hippie. He walked barefoot. He didn't shower for weeks. He ate only apples, which is where the company name came from. He took LSD. He traveled to India to find enlightenment. He wasn't a businessman yet. He was a seeker. Then he met the other Steve, Steve Wozniak. Wozniak was the engineering genius. Jobs was the visionary. In 1976, in a dusty garage, they founded Apple. Steve Jobs was 21. By 23, he was worth $1 million. By 24, $10 million. By 25, $100 million. It was the fastest rise in business history. But money didn't make him kind. It made him a tyrant. He parked his Mercedes in handicap spots. He shouted at employees, do it again. Asterisk. And the darkest secret. At 23, his girlfriend got pregnant. Steve denied the baby was his. He claimed in court that he was sterile. He left his daughter, Lisa, and her mother to live on welfare, while he was worth millions. The abandoned boy had become the father who abandons. By 1985, Steve Jobs was out of control. He tried to launch the Macintosh, but it was too expensive. He clashed with the CEO, John Scully, the man he hired. The board of directors had to choose Jobs or Scully. They chose Scully. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded. He was devastated. He felt like he had let the whole generation of entrepreneurs down. He spent days listening to Bob Dylan in the dark. But this failure turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to him. He said, the heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. He didn't retire. He started next, and he bought a small animation studio from George Lucas called Pixar. For 10 years, he learned patience. He learned how to tell stories. Toy Story. He was preparing for the greatest comeback in history. $1,997. Apple was bleeding money. They were 90 days away from bankruptcy. They bought NXT to get Steve Jobs back. When Steve walked back into the Apple campus, he didn't bring mercy. He brought a sword. He slashed 70% of the products. He fired thousands of people. He drew a simple grid on a whiteboard, desktop, portable, consumer, pro, focus, simplicity, perfection. Then came the golden era, 1998, the iMac. Hello, 2001, the iPod. 1000 songs in your pocket. 2007, the iPhone, the internet communicator. 2010, the iPad. He didn't just save Apple. He made it the most valuable company on earth. He was no longer just a CEO. He was a cultural icon. He was the Da Vinci of the digital age. But while he was conquering the world, a silent enemy was growing inside him. In 2003, doctors found a tumor in his pancreas. It was a rare form of cancer, but it was operable. Doctors told him, "We can remove it. You can live." But Steve Jobs did something baffling. He refused surgery. He thought he knew better than the doctors. He thought he could cure cancer with magical thinking. For 9 months, He tried to cure himself by eating only fruits, carrots, and getting acupuncture. He thought his body was a machine he could hack. By the time he agreed to surgery, it was too late. The cancer had spread. In his final years, the tyrant softened. He reconnected with his daughter, Lisa. He spent time with his wife, Laureen. He realized that all the iPhones in the world couldn't buy him time. His final words on his deathbed were simply, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow," as if he saw something more beautiful than any gadget he ever created. Steve Jobs was not a perfect man. He was flawed. He was difficult. He was cruel. But he taught us to think different. He taught us that the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Here are 3 lessons from his life. Connect the dots. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. Trust your journey. Love what you do. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Remember, you will die. Death is the destination we all share. Don't waste your time living someone else's life. From an unwanted baby to the visionary who changed how we live. If this story inspired you, hit like. Who should we cover next? A woman who ruled an empire, or a musician who ruled the stage? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to Defining Moments. I'm Peter. Stay hungry. Stay foolish.